Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. It's go get milk day for me. Yeah, I'm not even going to bother trying to explain that one, but bartering and preppers, go figure. So I wanted to bring something up today that I don't think gets talked about enough on prepper channels, and including myself. Okay, it's something that we don't really think about that much because we're all too interested in the long term and we don't look as much at the near term. Okay. We've all talked about elderberries and different roots and uh, herbs and things like that you can take for any sort of illness or sickness or whatever it is. But that's all great once, first off, if you know what you're doing, and second off, if you have whatever grown available to you. It doesn't do any good with my elderberry bushes out here right now that aren't producing any elderberries yet. Okay, it's May. So I got an email yesterday from Adrienne, and it made a whole lot of sense. And I just want to read a little bit to you here. She says, Pinball, as an ER nurse, I can tell you there's some weird shit going on medically as well. There's supply chain shortages on odd things. First is that we were low on potassium drips. Boom, all kinds of people come in with low potassium. Then there's a shortage on IV tubing due to the shortage of raw materials from China. Plastic tubing. Then there's a shortage of D50, which is literally sugar water. How the hell are we short on that? Now we're seeing a rash of patients with critically low blood sugar that do not have diabetes. There's a GI, gastrointestinal, bug going around. But it's lasting for weeks instead of a few days, and they're chalking all the crazy medical stuff up to this bug. No one is talking about it because it's just a GI bug. It's not just a GI bug. Please remind folks to stock up on basic medical supplies like Imodium, Dramamine, Powerade, Tylenol, Motrin, chicken soup, saltine crackers, etc. There's a lot of truth to that. All right, and just think about it, okay? And I'm not talking about your high blood pressure, your cholesterol meds, the stuff you need to maintain life. I'm talking about the simple things like I got a headache. Okay? You have a headache, what do? Probably just like me, you run to the medicine cabinet and get yourself, an aspirin or a Tylenol or an Excedrin or whatever it would be, and your headache goes away. For ladies, menstrual cramps, or whatever, you go get something and you take it. Why not have plenty of that on hand right now? Because it's getting harder to get. Now, I'll give you a quick story. Y'all know I get poison ivy like Who Shot John? Okay. So Mrs. P and I, one of the things we make sure we stock up on is Benadryl. Not that it is enough to cure me, but it's a little bit of relief, okay? And I mean, I've got the jewelweed soap now, and I've got the poison ivy stuff, and I've got calamine lotion, and I mean, I've got, anything and everything that you can think of to try to alleviate this, all right? Except, of course, having my steroids because the doctor won't give them to me. Thanks. But so we were at Walmart, this had to be a couple of months ago, and we went to buy Benadryl. They had a whopping 5 packs of Benadryl. Okay, 5. Not that Benadryl's a high value, hot item on the shelf or whatever it is, but it's an anti-allergy coming into springtime. Okay? A lot of people get allergies in the spring, pollen, whatever would be, grass cuttings. And they had 5. So we took them up to the cash register, and I went to pay for everything we bought. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, you can only buy 3. Really? Okay. Of course, I just handed 2 to Mrs. P, and we just paid a separate ticket. It was not that difficult. But they only had 5. Now, there's what, 12 packs of, or 12 tablets of Benadryl in a box. You got allergies or whatever, you're probably buying more than one box, okay? Because you're going to go through 12 pretty quick. What is it, 3 a day? Okay, there's 4 days. Spring lasts a lot longer than 4 days. But start thinking of some of the other things that you need, right? Like I said, aspirin or hydrocortisone or Vicks Vapor Rub, or, pick something, like I said, Midol, whatever you need. Those types of medicines are getting harder and harder and harder to come by. It's, go to the dollar store and buy some of these meds. They're not expensive, but I'll tell you what, spending $1 on a bottle of aspirin may seem like, oh, gee, that's a pain in the ass right now to run to the store just for a dollar's bottle of aspirin. When you have a headache, would you give more than $1 for an aspirin? I sure would. It's like, oh my God, my day has just stopped. Don't want to move. Think of those little things. Guys, please put suggestions in the comments for other people to read. But I'll give you some that Adrienne gave. Just in here, that she had a few tips in here. She says, sugar is the ultimate appetite stimulant. You almost never vomit sugar. So if you're hungry, a little bit of sugar, you're okay. Magnesium, best absorbed through the skin, so soak in an Epsom salt bath can help relieve muscle and stomach cramps if your body's depleted. Okay, Epsom salt, again, something you get at a dollar store for $1. They're cheap. All right. Where she said, going slow and eating white foods, getting toast, rice, crackers, sweetened applesauce, stuff like that. If you got upset stomach, this gastrointestinal stuff, that's what you need. The medicines, if you've got some sort of GI problem, okay, Unisom, believe it or not, it puts you to sleep, is something she says is just as effective as nausea medications. Okay. These are little things we don't think about. Just because it's marketed one way doesn't mean that's the only thing it's good for. Guys, remember this. Viagra was originally discovered because they were trying to find a treatment for hair loss. Okay, that ain't it. So just because they say, oh, aspirin's only good, for headaches or muscle aches or whatever it is. No, aspirin's good for a lot of things. Think of something stupid. You get cut flowers, you throw an aspirin in the bottom of it, right? Just, do your roses have a headache? No. Okay. Just saying for an example, not that that's the reason why you want to store aspirin. But stock up on some of the common meds. Get yourself some Pepto. You're going to need it, okay, in the future, or your Tums or whatever, your aspirin, your ibuprofen, your things like that. The meds that you don't have or don't think it's important, when you have an upset stomach, when you have a headache, when your back is killing you from pulling weeds all day long or whatever, and you would kill for some icy hot, boy, it's a whole lot better to have it in the pantry than not have it and wish you did. Just like everything else. The OTC meds, guys, are cheap. Make sure you've got some on hand, because when this all goes to hell, which is getting closer day by day as it seems, you're going to have more stress, more pain, more work, and I know there's, of course, going to be somebody, well, you don't need to solve it chemically. All right, well, you know what? I hate to tell you this, but aspirin isn't a chemical. Go ahead and start getting this stuff now. It may not save your life, but it sure as hell going to save your sanity. We'll see y'all later. Pinball out.